What's up, guys? It's me, Alan. I am back with another video. Um, my voice is getting better. The meds and the orange juice and all that stuff's been helping. I sound a lot better than I did Thursday night during the video I uploaded and then the stream. Go check those out if you haven't already. Still not 100% yet, but I wanted to come on and make a video. Uh, it's a more of an update video from a vid I did over 2 years ago, back in the summer of 2020, titled Ranking Basketball YouTubers. Now, when I did that video, along with the football one that preceded it, or no, I think that one came after. Either way, that one and the motorsports one I did, in all three cases, it's not a serious ranking. It's These guys are people I am subscribed to and I watch as frequently as possible. And it's more so just like seeing like me talking about them and and talk about who I think is honestly the best, but at the same time, giving spotlight to each individual creator that I watch, um, because as far as I'm concerned, they're all awesome. And I wanted to come on and make an update video from that because it's been over 2 years and there have been some changes. I can't tell if the list has honestly gotten bigger or slightly smaller than last time. I don't even remember how big the list was. Um, but I have 21 names, well, technically 22, and we'll get to that in a little bit, a little later on. Names listed, along with two guys I want to give a shout out to. So we'll do them first, and then we'll do the list. So, with all that being said, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on future videos and streams. All these guys' channels and whatnot will be linked in. Excuse me, will be linked in the description below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump into this. So, to start with, I want to talk about the two shout outs I have. First, going out to KrispyFlakes. Um, I believe he was in the top 10 of the ranking when I did this the first time. Uh, he has since retired from making YouTube content. That was last month, I believe, so it's almost been a month since he's retired from that. He's still active on Twitter, um, but the main reasons why he retired is or I should say retired, because it basically was due to burnout and the videos just not hitting the way they used to with the YouTube algorithm. There's another guy on this list that I will talk about later who has talked about recently as far as like 2K23 kind of dying off in terms of content creation and just overall um attention towards it. So I can definitely see why Crispy decided to kind of bow out at the moment. I do hope he ends up coming back to YouTube, um, but I wanted to give him a shout out here because I had him on the list last time. And the other shout out I have goes out to SDC, otherwise known as Zach Lee. Um, he's kind of disappeared. Like he used to be on Twitter, he's not there anymore. His YouTube channel's still up, but he hasn't made videos in a long time. Um, he just disappeared. And Zach, if you're out there, if you ever come across this, I hope you're doing well. Um, you always whenever you made content, you put your hard work into it. It was amazing content. Um, and like I said, I hope you're doing well. So now we get into the list. And again, this isn't a serious list. All these guys are awesome. It's just, I guess you could say it's me saying who I like the most out of those that I watch in a way. But again, I can't stress it enough. Don't take it seriously. It's just, they're all awesome. All right. So, first up at 21, I've got CaineLovesCali. He just recently came back into making YouTube content. And he looks to be making content a little more frequently and a little more consistently. So glad to see him back. Austin Sweatt at 20, Andy Hoops at 19, Smoove at 18. And I said this when I made the original video because I had Smoove so low on the list, and I still have him low. He's obviously an OG when it comes to NBA YouTube, and he always will be. Um, he's built a massive platform. He's probably inspired a lot of the NBA YouTubers that a lot of us watch. At the same time, um, I don't have as much of a connection to his content as I do to some of these other guys, and I just don't watch him as much. And it kind of seems like most of his NBA content is like the little clip vids, just the little recaps, which is fine and dandy and all. He's branched out to a lot of different forms of like different gaming and stuff as far as content goes, which is awesome. And he has the platform to do it. Um, but like he's awesome, and he'll forever will be, but he's just not as high up um, as he may have been in his heyday. That's not to say that he's washed, because he's not. But that said, he's at number 18. At 17, J Canada. At 16, AFunkyDiabetic. At 15, Jonny Arnett. I don't know if I don't believe I had him on the original list, uh, but I ended up discovering him, I think, last year, and he's got some pretty interesting content. He's got an interesting way of looking at things and analyzing things, um, especially when it comes to different conversations that are had within the NBA community. And he's a pretty damn good content creator. I got to give the man his props. He's really freaking good. At 14, Phantuums. He was much higher on the list the first time, and the main reason why he dropped, um, is just hasn't he hasn't been uploading a lot of content. Now, granted, it's perfectly okay to take breaks from content creation and not forcing yourself to make content when there's content not to be made. He's also been dealing with a lot in his own life, between stuff like with Twitter and just personal life stuff. But he's a damn good dude. Um, he's fun to talk to. He's always looking for a great time, and he's been here and there. He's been making content a little bit more lately, mainly talking about, as I mentioned before, 2K23 and how it's kind of just dying off right now. Um, and yeah, great follow, great content creator. Um, keep on keeping on, man. At 13, MJ2K all day. Another great content creator. Um, Probably has one of the catchiest intros that anybody in YouTube's got. It, if you've watched enough of his videos, you know it offhand. You could probably recite it in your sleep. Um, he's a great dude. Uh, SportingLogically at number 12. Tucker's, he's another one. Really good. Um, keeps up the content. Um, Things like that. At number 11, Mike Korzemba. He's another one that has been more inconsistent. He hasn't posted as much. He'll post here and there. I think he's trying to get back at it a little more consistently now. Um, but like over the last year or so, year, 2 years or so, it's been content here and there, then some time away, things like that. Um, but it's obviously good to still see him around, and it's always fun to go back and watch his old vids, especially the what ifs, the conspiracy vids. So much fun to watch. Um, and he'll forever be the guy that got me into watching NBA YouTube. So got to give the man his props. At number 10, another content creator making their debut on this list. Again, the original list was from 2 years ago, so obviously things have changed. It's TheFlightMike. Um, the man's been through a lot this year. Um, If you follow it, if you know his story, uh, he's been through a hell of a lot. But he's a fighter, and he keeps fighting, and he's still here. Um, and I just want to say this man is just, he'll report on the news, NBA, NFL, pop culture, whatever the hell. Supporting like I think three different channels, but he's amazing at what he does. He's a genuinely awesome dude. And if you don't follow him, you should. If you're not subscribed to his channel, you should be, because he's damn good. At number 9, Clique Productions, another debuter on this list. Um, Clique's a guy that he does a hell of a lot of 2K content, regardless of what's going on. All these different what ifs, all these different redrafts, all these different scenarios. It's all this different crazy shit. With the capabilities of modding and things like that. Um, he busts his ass, making incredible content. He's a part of the Media Merchants podcast with Dom2K. The podcast formerly being known as the Domcast, under Dom himself. Um, and then Kobe is also on the pod. So Korzemba was on it originally, and then he kind of dipped or whatever happened there, and then Click took his spot. So um, go check Click out. Uh, Hell of a dude. Um, and I almost kind of feel bad for him being a Knicks fan, not gonna lie. But there you go. At number 8, Rusty Buckets. I mean, if you watch this guy, you know how hard he works to to achieve the goal, his subscriber goals. Um, and he's kind of changed some of his content a little bit. He's changed the way he does some of his content, but at the same time, he still does a lot of the same stuff, and it works, and he's so good at it. So I got him at number 8. At number 7, this is where the two man kind of thing kind of comes into play here, and that's BSOLZ slash Souls and Sage. Um, BSOLZ took his original channel, which he did pretty much by himself, built that up, and has since brought Sage on. Um, somebody from the Let's Keep It a Buck podcast, and they've made it a two-man channel at this point that sort of rebranded it. It does kind of appear that BSOLZ is looking to do like solo content again, separately on a separate channel, um, which he uploaded to a little while back, a little while recently. So go check that out. But I had to include him here. He was on the original list, of course. Um, and I think bringing Sage on has been pretty big for him, because it's one thing to watch one person do content, but it's another thing to see that person do content with somebody else on their channel and see how they mix. And I think Souls and Sage are a hell of a duo. And I hope they keep this partnership up for a long time, as long as NBA YouTube is still here, and as long as YouTube is still here. Um, at number 6, NickSmithNBA. He literally just dropped a video earlier tonight, or earlier this evening rather. Saw that popped up in the notifications, and his thing these days with his channel, I think, is just bringing together all these different stories across the NBA ether into these long, I don't, I kind of like documentary ish kind of videos, and he's so damn good at it. It just finding this stuff, putting it together, making it all make sense, and just allowing us NBA fans to enjoy these stories in one space, for all these different types of players. Um, and he's keeping at it. So to Nick Smith, keep on with what you're doing. It's freaking awesome, and keep bringing out these stories for all of us to get to see, man. So now we hit the top 5. And at number 5, it's Kenny, aka King of the Fourth Quarter, aka KOT4Q. Um, Over the last couple of years, aside from YouTube content, which he obviously still does, he has a main channel, he has a second channel, stuff like that. he's he became part of House of Highlights, which I think was huge for him, and huge for NBA YouTube to see one of their own break into that next level. Um, and you see it here and there with other content creators. Dom2K, I mentioned him, and we'll get to him. Um, he's another example. He's done work with the NBA on live streams, stuff like that. Man's even got to talk to a video about him getting to talk to Clyde Drexler earlier this year. There's another one where he got to talk to Paul George, I think either earlier this year or last year. Um, but that aside, getting back to Kenny, um, again, like I said, with House of Highlights, and breaking into that, um, I think he has some sort of working relation with his favorite team, the Chicago Bulls, or like within the NBA in general, which is just so awesome to see. Um, and it just shows that you put in a hell of a lot of work, and it can take you places, man. So huge shout out to him. Number four, the NBA Storyteller. He's another one where content is made every now and again, but for him, I think it's on purpose. Not like taking breaks and stuff, but for him, it's on purpose because whenever he pops up with a video, whether it's something short or something long, it's a banger every time. And he just has this fun way of doing things with it, and it's just so fun to watch. Um, Absolutely a legend of NBA YouTube, if you ask me. At number three, you got Legend of Winning, aka Low. Um, he's so good with what he does, and he ciphers through the bullshit, and he gets to the point, and he tries his best to get the facts out. He's got his haters, and shit like that. But then again, who doesn't? But Lowe just looks at the haters and just gives them the double middle finger and just keeps on keeping on. He's a hell of a content creator. You know, Solo content creator. All of his work with Agent Zero, and other content creators, things like that. His debates with Los Polos have been incredible, um, and things of that nature. And you know, he's top three, man. He's up there. At number two, JxmyHighroller. Look, man, like he's like I think he's the one NBA YouTuber on this list that doesn't have Twitter. I Some of these other guys might not have Twitter. I'm not exactly 100% sure, or they might have had Twitter before but got rid of it, or they're not active on it anymore. But Jimmy, as far as I know, has never had Twitter, but he seems to know what's going on within NBA Twitter and just the NBA spectrum in general. It almost makes you think like he's got a burner somewhere, and one of these days somebody's gonna find it. But that said, uh, let it not be forgotten. Jimmy, as he's told his story before, he was a D1, player, and to go from that to making content. And I mentioned the flight mic earlier on this list. Uh, Jimmy acknowledged him. And if you look at, I don't know if it's on the flight mic. It might be. I'm pretty sure it's on the flight mic account. Because he has a separate account, the microphone account for football content. Um, go. Flight mic has that pinned on his account, and it's so freaking awesome to see. Just content creators supporting content creators. It's fucking awesome. So Jimmy, he's another one, OG, if you will, um, a legend of the NBA YouTube world, and he's simply one of the best. And that brings us to number one, just like last time, Dom2K. Absolutely deserves to remain in the number one spot. I mean, this man, he's a content creator. He control ya. He's got puns. He's just so well rounded and so damn good at what he does. Whether it's just looking at stuff historically, looking at stuff in the present, looking towards the future, hypotheticals, the NBA 2K stuff. simulations, all this stuff. Absolutely, Dom 2K is number one in my book. And I think he's number one to a lot of other people too. So um I hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down below. Again, this isn't a serious list. This is just for fun. Um, but again, let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.